All right, just for you. We'll do it.
Not to be just for me. I'm actually recording that too right now, so
Good.
I'm going to start the intro right now. How about that? Yeah. Might as well make it official, I guess, right now, so we can go ahead and start. Welcome, Paul, again. This is
What's up?
This is a nice surprise. So, lots of things have changed since last time we talked, and
it's an honor and a pleasure, man.
Of course it is. I know, yeah. It's just, hey, it's the monthly or bi-monthly or whatever you want to call it tech report from Paul.
The hangout. So, feels more like a hangout. We talk tech.
It is.
We mention things occasionally, and then we talk about a lot of other stuff. I've got a retraction also from the last episode.
Okay.
I made a recommendation, and I officially want to withdraw it.
Okay. What's that? What was the recommendation?
Raised by Wolves on HBO.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It was a great show until the last episode, and then it turned into dog shit.
Why are they doing that? It seems like that's kind of what goes with, what was it, Game of Thrones? Everybody was pissed. I still haven't watched it.
Yeah. Season 8. Don't go past episode 3. Yeah. No, I mean, it was a good show. It's excellent. Let me walk that back. It's excellently done. I mean, it's Ridley Scott. So Alien, any number of other amazing, movies he's produced.
Right.
But they take such a hard left turn in the last episode that both me and my wife were like, nope, not for me. So,
well,
don't do it. Instead, go and watch. We're watching The Boys right now on Amazon.
Yeah, I've seen some stuff about that.
Season.
Yeah,
it's good so far. I mean, I haven't made it to the last episode, so I can't say for sure.
Yeah,
but so far it's good. We're enjoying that. I
need to get into something. We were looking the other night. We were just like, what are we gonna watch? Because everything we've watched is done. So until I'm assuming 2021, but we haven't found anything. But I have heard people talk about The Boys, so maybe that's something that we get into. Maybe.
It's a good, like, if you're into the superhero stuff, it's a fresh angle on it because, like, the superheroes are douchebags and you're all about these underdogs who have been, like, wronged by them and them hunting them down. It's actually, that's another one that's excellently done. It's a fun show for sure. Check that out.
Have to check it
out.
That's
a good one.
See what it is.
Oh,
yeah.
So what's new with you, Mr. Manchester? Things look a little bit heavier over there, almost like you have a new way to hold your papers down.
I think we know what's different, but the Komodo came out since we last talked. Last time we talked, we were wondering if and when it was coming out, what it was going to. I mean, I think you probably had a little bit more insight than most, but so I got it ordered, and it was a long time coming. The people that you hooked me up with, what is it? What's her Voice and Video?
Voice and Video
Sales. There you go. I have the card right over here, so I saw it. Yeah. So great guys. Did a terrific job setting me up. I mean, and another thing, just to mention this on the side is, I mean, they emailed and called to make sure that everything was right. I was happy with everything, even prior to it, arriving, and kept me just involved in every little step. So they did a fantastic job. So, but anyway, so it came in, and obviously it was a surprise to the wife. I did not say anything to her because I wanted her to be surprised by it too. So,
oh no,
yeah. So I was actually,
really?
Where was I? Where the hell was I? I don't know. Anyway, I had something and it was due here on a Wednesday. And and it showed up when it was supposed to, and it was a box. And what's crazy is it sat on my office floor about 6 feet from where I'm sitting right now. And it sat there for like 4 or 5 days. Never opened the box, which was hard to do. But I opened it up, and of course, I didn't have everything in it. My wife was like more excited than I was. She was like, when you open the box? When you go open the box? And I was like, you don't want to see what's in the box yet. So I said, just hold tight and we'll get to it. And finally I opened it, and no, I mean, she's happy for me, but, it comes with a price, but, that's what you work for. So,
Sure.
But,
and compared to some other things, it's not that bad a price. I mean, this is the
most
affordable, insane camera that RED has ever produced. And it's in line with a lot of the other competitor models that are out there. I mean, everybody and their mom has just taken this opportunity to drop new tech on us now, like 4K, 6K, 8K, 12K are the new norm, so that you can get your hands on for less than 10 grand. So when you're talking like in the competitive marketplace, prices are being driven down and the technology has been being driven skyward. It's amazing now, all the stuff that they're putting in these cameras. It's unreal.
Yeah, they, I mean, it definitely changes the game, man. I mean, everybody at one time that was into video that wasn't getting the Reds and the Canons, the cinema cameras, they were, it's like, how can I afford those types of cameras? How can I shoot like that? How can I shoot with that type of stuff? And now, not to knock the the EOS R line and the Sonys and stuff, because they shoot fantastic video, but you still have issues with trying to shoot with those cameras, so that you have to contend with. Not so much the new Sony that come out. I can't even keep up with what they call it. What is it? What is the new Sony?
The A7
S3 or whatever it is. Yeah, something like that. Whatever.
I think it's A7 S3. I was just like browsing earlier. Yeah, the A7 S3 is on its way for the low price of not even $3,500, just under $3,500.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of
that's not bad.
I've seen a lot of stuff shot with that, and it does an amazing job. And supposedly doesn't overheat. It just shoot, as long as you want to, which is good. It shoots log and all that. It has a different, S log and stuff. But still, if you want to get into the cinema line, a lot of people could not get into the cinema line without second mortgaging their house. It was just,
yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a lot of money.
If you're interested in Reds or in Ari Alexa.
Yeah.
I mean, people have typically for less money, people are leaning into companies like Blackmagic, who are doing very, very well. They're making extremely pro level cameras, and an entry level RED up until the Komodo, you're still talking $14,000 for the body.
I was gonna say that's just for the body,
all the accessories.
Yeah,
exactly. So as you know, glass can get incredibly expensive, because what's the point of having a great sensor or a great camera if you have garbage glass on it?
Yep. And
that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, and so, even at that, even all the stuff that I have is L series lenses, but still, it's like, when can you invest in good cinema glass? You can get decent cinema glass for a cheap price, but still, I think you still run into a problem where you have your cinema glass that you're going to be paying, I mean, what, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 for a kit and stuff. I mean,
it depends on what you're looking for. Zine has, relatively affordable cinema lenses. We went with Sigma Cines for, what we do in the studio. And those, they run probably $4,000 to $5,000. You can probably find a used, loved set a little bit cheaper, but yeah, you're investing in it. And honestly, those L lenses are nothing to balk at. If you're talking an all-around good lens, good full-frame lens, those are fantastic. And we use those on our Reds as well. We've got a bunch of L lenses. We've got the Sigma Cine glass, and even for just like some extreme run and gun stuff, we've got some oh God, what are they? There's some Panasonic Micro Four Thirds lenses for the Blackmagic Pocket Cine 4Ks. So it's like it's all just what you want to use, like what you're going to use it for and how much you're willing to invest in it. But honestly, if you're doing well and if you know your way around post, you can make things look really pretty. But things you can't fix are like focus breathing or color aberrations, things like that.
Yeah, well, so I mean that's far down the line, even if it's down the line. But you can, like you said, you can make it work with those types of lenses. You can. The L series are fantastic glass. I mean, you can pay a lot for those. And depending if which one you get into, if you get into the primes or not. The primes are more expensive, but I mean, hell, I've been happy with them. But the biggest thing.
Here's the best part, dude. Rent them. Rent glass.
Yeah,
if you want to use some crazy glass, dude.
Yeah.
Rent it.
Yeah, you can.
Take it for a spin for the weekend and shoot some stuff. If you plan things right, you're talking minimal investment to use some ridiculously expensive glass. Like the Atlas anamorphic set, those are crazy. Yeah. And they're like a simple set of those is running you 60, 70 grand. They have an A set and a B set. And like you're talking gorgeous glass that you can rent for what? I think Bill's got them down in San Diego going for, I'm probably misquoting them, but like 100 a weekend or something like that. That's
pretty good.
It's such a low entry point to get your hands on that stuff, and then you shoot it, and then you own the footage. So rent your little heart out.
I know, and it's funny you say that because the anamorphic lenses is something that I've been interested in. Never shot with them, but I've been interested in, in shooting with them, and what you can produce with it. So
they're gorgeous.
I'm interested in using one of those at some point. So I think it would be. I don't know. It has some pretty cool footage. There's some people that don't like it. They think it's just hokey and.
It depends on what you're using it for. Yeah. Like watch any J.J. Abrams movie. Watch any like a lot of Hollywood blockbuster stuff. If you see like a light bokeh hit the glass and it looks like really stretched out and not spherical, they're shooting anamorphic lenses. That's an easy telltale when you're just looking at the footage. But they're gorgeous, and like anything else, you can use really crazy expensive, spherical lenses. They don't have to be anamorphic, but it's just, think of it as another tool in your arsenal, another way to tell a story, another way to, capture an image. And it's all just what you're into, honestly.
Yeah. I'll get into that at some point. I don't know. I mean, if you could rent them for that price, for a weekend, that's pretty good. Yeah. It's definitely a lot more than dropping the cash on it unless you got it. But so anyway, the Komodo came in, and it's I shot with it, and it's amazing to just shoot with it. It was just it's a cool little camera, man. And like you said,
did you try the app control, the RED Control app?
With the app. With the phone, free. With the iPhone.
Yeah,
I have not used that yet. I have not used that yet. I've done a lot of research on that though, and it looks pretty cool. But no, I have not used that.
That's a great example of something that RED is doing for its consumers, especially to drive like Komodo usage. And so not only do you have this amazing piece of new technology, new sensor technology, like fantastic piece of hardware, you get the RED Control app for free to control that. Mm-hmm. Now I've got cameras in the DSMC2 line that are anywhere from 15 grand to, whatever it is, 28 grand for the body. If I want to use an app, I have to download a $170 app to be able to use that. Whereas with Komodo, you get it for free. Yeah. And your camera is also, a third of the price. It's like, it's really fantastic what they're doing for kind of entry level and like people looking to get into a very serious platform, but don't have the crazy serious money. Like it's a great choice, man. You're going to be so stoked. We're going to have the same conversation like 3 years from now. And you're going to be like, I still love my Komodo.
Oh, I'm going to, awesome. I still love my shooting with my Canon cameras. Like I said, you can produce some good stuff with that, but it's just, and I didn't realize exactly how much shit is in the menus on a RED. I've never used one. I've been around them, but I've never used them. Sure. I've never played with the menus. But as soon as I opened it up, you're expecting, like Canon, you go through it and it's pretty straightforward. That's a good thing about the Canon menus. You can figure it out. Yeah. Once you set it, you're done. I'm sure it's the same way with the RED. But as soon as I started going through the menus and it had different options, and then you go into that option and then you have that separate menu, I was like, Jesus Christ. So that's a huge learning curve for me. And I think the big thing is to get to where I can have it figured out and dialed in to what I'm going to use the most, where I may change whether you're shooting in, 2K or 4K or 6K or whatever. But that would be one of the main things that I change. I guess you could do that. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. Mm-hmm. So, but if I can get everything else dialed in, I'll be happy. It's stressful to look at all that stuff and go, what the hell do I do? And where do I put it? So, but I did shoot with it. It's straight out the box. I hooked everything up and I went out and shot some regular stuff and threw it in the Premiere. I was surprised at how easy Premiere took care of it. I was really expecting some lag and all that kind of stuff, and
or your computer to turn into a jet engine?
It didn't, but I mean, it's still new, but I was just super surprised at how, rendering it and playing it back, everything was super smooth. So I was pleased with that for sure. But they were small clips. So,
sure.
I'm waiting to, like I said, I got some time coming up, so I'll do some more in-depth shooting. So I may call on you for a little bit for trying to set it up a little bit closer to probably what I need. But
the longest take that we've done that I can remember was like probably 35 minutes. Yeah. I mean, those clips are broken up in the Red Mag, and of course you have the delight of shooting CFast now. Yes. You're not beholden to the Red Mag technology, so you have a lot more options now.
The CFast is still expensive though.
It was easy to work with.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, it's not as expensive as like when we bought media. It was like $1,700 for 480 gig Red Mag. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they have come a long way with this stuff, but
sure,
it's I don't know. It's a necessity. You got to have it, or it doesn't work. I mean, just it can sit on your desk and stare at you, which it did to me for a week. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm happy with it. I'm ready to shoot some good shit. So and see what I can turn out. But I'm pumped up about it. I'm happy. Now I can just use my Canon camera for mostly for photos and use this for the video part, So, but I also have, more than one camera I can shoot with, because now the other camera, I don't have to ask my wife if I can take it with me. So, now she can keep it here. The problem is she needs to use lenses that I use when I take with me to film.
Gotcha.
So, she loves to shoot with my 100mm macro, which I like to have with me at all times. That's like probably one of my favorite lenses, man. That's an amazing lens that Canon has. To me, it's one of the better ones.
So are you going to invest in the RF? Because the Komodo out the box, I want to say, is RF with an EF adapter, and then the EOS R is an RF, native. So is that the next step? Now that you're dialed for stills, you're dialed for cinema, do you begin to build out the lens library of the future?
Well, I mean, I would love to. I'm hoping that they adjust the prices a little bit with the RF glass, because I mean, now I have heard, I've never shot with them, but I have heard they're amazing to shoot with. I've never shot with them though. But yeah, I mean, that would, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Do I invest in a bunch of RF glass, or do I wait and invest in, maybe a couple, cinema lenses, or do I buy the RF glass and, like you said, rent cinema glass when I need it? Because more than likely you won't need cinema glass very often, I wouldn't think. Because
for most things, I mean, are you going out and producing like indie?
That's what I plan on doing, but when is that going to happen? I don't know. I mean,
but here's the thing: do you have to? I mean, have they never been shot on less than cinema glass? I mean, it's all in what you're doing. Are you doing a lot of complicated, camera moves, and you just have to look at the use case. I mean, those RF primes are stupid good looking. They're ridiculous.
Yeah, and that, I mean, honestly,
and why not?
I mean, that would probably be the way I go, just because they're versatile and I could use them, in both applications. So not only shooting video, but I could use them for photography too. So, and I would probably go more the prime with those instead of any kind of zoom. I have zooms with the L, and I don't plan on ever getting rid of those. So it would actually be straight, just straight cash from what I make. But
I can't remember. We probably mentioned this before. Do you have the 70 to 200 or the 1 to 400?
70 to 200. That was one of the first lenses I ever bought. I bought it probably 10 years ago. I would never get rid of that lens. It's probably hands down my favorite lens to use. It's what comes out of that is just amazing. I mean, it is just it's just crazy. I don't know what it is about that lens, but it's just the best lens you can use, and you can use it for so much different stuff.
Here's a question then. 3 lenses you can't live without. If you could only use 3 lenses for the rest of your life, what would they be?
16 to 35. For sure. Got to have that. 7200's got to be on there. And then probably I don't know. God. I would say probably an 85 millimeter, something like that.
85 prime over like a fast 50. I guess it depends on what you're doing with it.
Yeah. But see, that's the only thing is, I would say 16 to 35 because I can use it for video and photography, and then because you can get that 24 millimeter or 35 millimeter that you need. And then, had to be like a 2.8 or something like that. And then you go with I haven't shot with the 85, but I've seen a lot of excellent things shot with the 85. So I'm really excited about maybe using that at some point. I do have the 100 millimeter, but, like I said, the 7200, I could probably do without that. And then I could probably go with like a 50 that would close that gap, for something that I may need. Get like, I don't know, what, a 1.2 or something. I mean, I think you could go faster than that. I think I saw something the other day where somebody had some kind of crazy ass lens. It was like I don't even know what kind of lens it was. It was like a 0.7. And it was, Jesus. Yeah, it was.
I want to say our Sigma Cine lenses are like 1.2. I could be wrong. I want to say they're 1.2.
Yeah, so.
They're T1.2.
Anyway, I think that would be it. If I did away with the 7200, just because, which would be hard, I would do 16 to 35, probably like you said, a 50 millimeter that was in that 1.2 or something range, and then I don't know, 85 for some reason. I just I think that would be a good mix. Kind of hits everything you really need.
So what you just explained is the wife can use your 100 millimeter macro anytime because it didn't come up at all.
She could, well, yeah, and I mean, but if I had to pick 3 that I could use a lot, because the 85 could use, that's a macro you could use it as, but the 100 millimeter is money. I've used that for a lot of photography, and then I did do some shots on the last video I did at Supercross. I did with 100 millimeter. And it was actually some pretty cool footage on there, so I was pretty pleased with it. But it's also, that is not something that you use a lot. That's like for that, it's a couple shots you may get, just for some odd reason that you may want to throw in there. But I think those other 3 are pretty good range, I think. I mean, I don't know. What would you pick?
You've covered most of anything you'd want to do for stills or for video.
Yeah. It's really, and I think one of the most important parts is the f-stop on it, because you want them to be fast lenses, and I think one of the most important things too is that the image stabilization that you can use in those lenses, which does not come in cinema lenses as far as I know, not image stabilization. So
nope.
And going to the Komodo, I have not used it, don't know how good it is, but it does have autofocus. Now, it's not going to be as good as Canon, I'm assuming, but
it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
So is it going to be like Canon, or even, there's plenty of videos out there comparing Canon and Sony, like speed autofocus tests. And depending on the model and whose video you watch, Canon wins some, Sony wins some. They're both fantastic. The Komodo autofocus is definitely a work in progress. I think it'll get you, where you need to be if you're looking to focus on a subject. Would you rely on that for run and gun right now? I don't know. But honestly, Jared and the engineers over at RED, like, that's something that they know is important to that consumer, and they're going to continue to work on it. So you're going to see more and more and more. And that's the cool thing too. Like, you're open to beta features.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a great thing about RED. They rely on their users. Like, that's the reason why you saw all the different colored Komodos coming out, and we're wondering like, oh, hey, when can we buy one? It's because they're doing aggressive field beta testing. I mean, Jason Momoa went out and made a short film using Komodo. You've seen all the different colored ones come out in very limited batches to industry professionals to just beat up and throw in fire and see if they could break them, and go back to Jared and say, hey, how can we make this thing better? So much R&D, so much love and blood and sweat and tears goes into these things. Just know that moving forward, you're going to have access to stuff probably before it's like fully polished and ready for release. And then when the full blown firmware release comes out, then you're going to love that too. Yeah. But that's the cool thing about it, is you're on the journey with them. You paid your money, man. You've got your skin in the game.
I know.
You're strapped in for the ride now.
Yeah, I know. And it makes me wonder about the autofocus and things like that, because it seems like they're kind of in bed with Canon a little bit, I mean, with the RF lenses that it's supposed to take, but then it has the RF. It has the adapter. So, I mean, if they're working with Canon with autofocus, if it even gets for a cinema camera like this to even have half as good as autofocus as Canon's got, it'd be fantastic, especially for this, sure. Because you would want to run and gun with that. I mean, that's why I was leaning more towards the Canon, maybe that C70 or something like that, because it's, or any of the cinema cameras, because you can run and gun with it. They have autofocus. They have everything built in that you need. You don't have to buy anything extra. They do come in, I think, was it the C500 Mark II, whatever it is. I think it was coming in at $15,000, I believe, something like that. But it has everything in there. It has all the ND filters in there that you need. It has all the stuff that makes that camera work. You don't have to buy anything extra. Most people would already have, external microphone if they need it, But I mean, other than that, you don't need anything. You just need the glass. And most people, if you're going to buy something like that, you probably already have glass, I would assume. So that's why I was leaning more towards the Canon. But for some reason, I kept leaning back towards the RED. I don't. It seems like the way to go. It's just something to dive into, and it's different. But again, you have different camps. You have people that like, you don't need a RED. RED's not as good as it's made out to be. Go Sony. Sony's the way to go. ARRI is the way to go. And it's like, oh, shit. I mean, it's a lot of money to invest, so you have to do your research, and then you just land on one and you go with it. And that's kind of what I did. But I know you've worked with them. And obviously we've had a lot of conversation about them, and so I don't know. It is good to be in that world now.
There's so much personal preference, and that's really what it boils down to. I mean, if that's you can argue. The arguments are getting so minute now with the technology. It really comes down to personal preference. Yeah. It's, are you a Canon guy? Have you already, and it's the whole sunk cost fallacy. So what is your money in? Do you have a bunch of Sony lenses? Are you looking to like completely move over platforms? It's the whole, I mean, it's Apple versus Android. It's, Ford versus Chevy. It's whatever you want it to be. It's like whatever you were kind of familiar with and comfortable around. And that's the thing that you're into. And then everybody, for some weird reason, just makes fun of the black magic people, even though they're.
Well, see, but you know what? You had me leaning toward. Awesome. It's hey, crazy. So yeah, I mean, you're looking at 2020, as bad as it's been everywhere else. It's crazy because technology-wise, this has got to be one of the biggest years that I can remember.
It's never been better
for anything tech-wise. I mean, you can look at if you look at the camera lines, you're looking at Sony, you're looking at Canon. RED, and then you have lenses that's come out. You have, then you look at Apple, you have the new iPhone that come out. They have new computers that are coming out. They have, I mean, it's DJI. I mean, the shit they got coming out, they keep coming out with, better drones, smaller, better.
Dude, you know what's a sleeper from DJI is the little Osmo Pocket gimbal cameras. Those things are legit.
Well, yeah, how about
a few $100?
I know.
That's the funnest thing to carry around on you, to just shoot something. I took one of those to Supercross and I was blown away by what kind of like B-roll I got. Just doing like a track walk, like letting my kids run around with it. It's stupid smooth and fantastic. And 4K. It's ridiculous. It was 4K 60.
Yeah, you look at the new gimbals they just come out with.
Half the size of your phone.
Yeah. I mean, those are, I mean, I've got the other series. I'm not upgrading that at any time, but I mean, you just look at what they come out with and it's amazing. They just keep pumping that stuff out. And like I said, 2020 has been amazing when it comes to tech. So it is, if you need anything and you can't find it this year, you're probably not going to find it at all. It's going to be hard.
You don't have the internet is what is the deal. If you can't find it, you
but it makes your head explode. It's like, what do I get?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we've talked about it. It's like, what do you do? Where do you land on this? It's personal preference, but it's like, okay, so I researched this camera and then I researched this camera and they both are so close, but this has this one doesn't, but it has this and this one doesn't. It's like, what can you do with? What can you do without? You know, what do you need the most? Mm-hmm. And that's what it comes down to. But it's hard now. Everybody's getting so close. And RED is now in the game practically with the Canon and Sony. Yes, you do pay a little bit more, but now you have an all-out video camera, a cinema camera that's, you know, in the ballpark. You know, it's at least in the parking lot getting ready to go in. I mean, you got the,
hell yeah.
You know, so...
It's that cool kid under the bleachers.
That's right.
Like, hey man,
he's
come hang out with us.
Yeah.
Like, not a lot of people know about this.
That's right,
dude. They're handmade in the U.S. They're an awesome company. They have amazing color science. Like they've been in the game for a very, very long time. Incredibly reputable, like fantastic company. For them to offer something to, we'll call it. I mean, this is not an insult, but like prosumer, like that price point is fantastic because they've been on the far end of the spectrum, like untouchable unless you want to buy some of the older stuff, you know, secondhand. But dude, they're in the game for sure. I would argue
they are.
Absolutely. And earlier, so like let's touch on that for a second, because earlier you were talking about some of the new tech that came out, and you were saying, hey, some of these things have issues. Mm-hmm. Like when you look at things like overheating, that's an issue. But some of the other like attributes and functions of these different pieces of hardware, I wouldn't necessarily call them issues. I'd call them limitations. Yeah. So like less than 30-minute recording time. It all depends on what you want to do and how much money you have to spend. And the great news is it has never been easier to maximize your investment, to maximize your money. So wherever you're at in either looking to get into it, upgrade, etc., look at your money and go, all right, well, I know I can buy, like, and comparison has never been easier. Dude, think about 20 years ago when you're going to the library to look up books and shit. You've got the internet now and you can just compare all these different things. It's ridiculous. It's never been easier to maximize your money. So you can go, all right, I can afford this right now. And maybe that's something like I could buy a Canon 80D and I could shoot in 1080 and it's got cool continuous autofocus and it looks good. And I could, put my money into a kit lens and get one of those nice, fast, 50 millimeter primes, and boom, I'm into this thing for, 800,000-900,000, whatever. Yeah. Or I know I can save X and I can go, oh, well, I can get, the EOS R, or, oh, I can go farther and get the R6 or the R5, whatever. Like the great news is no matter where you're at in your journey, it has never been easier, never been better to maximize your investment and to go out and have fun with it, because everything now, like, they're splitting hairs when it comes down to what they can do with it. Yeah.
I mean, it's, you can go buy, if you have
time for number 2,
if you have, just say you had between 1,000 and that's a drink, by the way, being poured. That's nobody's taking a leak live.
Dude, this podcast is good. Dude, honestly, we went like almost 90 minutes once, and I was like, "That's all right, cool, man.
Yeah,
good to see you. Bye."
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, at any at any time, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure people know. I did it on the last one. I mean, I talked to my cousin, and we did a 3-hour podcast, and we went.
I got to run that back.
We went about 2 hours, and I was like, "Hey, got to take a break." But that's the beauty of video and
pause.
audio. You can you split it and nobody knows the difference, man. You just
like it never happened.
That's it. So anyway, there's a little magic right there for everybody that didn't know. The next one that we do,
I'm going to do like 3 costume changes then.
You can do that.
And my clothes will just magically change and people will be like, what is happening?
We'll break it up. There you go. You can, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to wear. You wear your Vikings outfit or...
Done. So, dude, don't tempt me. We're trying to tank this season so we can pick up Trevor Lawrence.
Well, the Falcons are doing a good job of not being in that running. So, but I can tell you if the Jets mess it up and they are in the running, he mentioned that he's going to go back and play again, but they just got beat by Notre Dame. So
yeah, they did.
Their season could very easily get messed up. So what do you do if you're him? Do you come back and go, I want redemption? Or do you go, all right, I've proved myself? And will that lower him in the draft? You know?
So I guess that's the question. Like, and as you know, I, for many years was a professional athlete, so I know a lot about this. Just kidding.
That's before, yeah.
Professional hot dog eating champion. I don't know. So if you're Trevor Lawrence, I'm going to be thinking, where am I going to land in the draft and how much money am I going to get? Like, you have a shelf life as a professional athlete. I think I read some probably bullshit article, but it's like, if you're a professional football player for more than 4 years, there's a 100% chance you're going to be injured or something like that. Yeah. Like, once you stretch it out, not that far, injury is guaranteed. Like, it's a brutal sport. So if you're thinking about, I have a shelf life, how are you going to get the most money that you can and be the most popular that you can and try and write your own way, right? So I think it would be determined based on where's he going to fall in the draft, how much money is he going to get.
That's I mean, and I don't know why it would lower I don't know why he'd be lower in the draft. It works out that way. For some reason, people lose confidence.
Only if there's amazing kids coming up.
Yeah, but there's nobody that's coming out that you can look at other than Trevor Lawrence that has done what he's done. He's won the national championships. He stepped in when he needed to, and he went and won a national championship. And he backed it up with another one. I mean, it's not like it wasn't an accident. They went undefeated until last weekend. Now they don't play in a tough conference, and I would have never figured in a million years, because I can tell you when I saw that game, I was like, I'm not even going to watch that. That's going to be a blowout. Notre Dame is going to get schooled. But didn't work out that way. So I think he'll be fine. I just question whether or not he's going to say, I think if he goes first round, he may go ahead and get out this year, unless the Jets are in position to get him. He did say if the Jets are in position, he's going to come back for another year or so. You may have to tank next year.
Which, honestly, if you were staring down the barrel of going to the Jets, and I'm speaking as a Vikings fan, would you be like, I'm going to go back and take night classes just so I can not have to go to the draft this year.
I wouldn't want to play in New York.
5th round.
No. I would not want to play and it doesn't really have to do with the fact that they suck. It's just, I wouldn't want to play in New York. It's just not a favorable place to play, especially if you're quarterback, so
sure.
Minnesota is nice. They have a very nice stadium. Been to it quite a few times. So it's indoors. So when it's cold, you're playing it at nice, balmy 72 degrees. Everybody's comfortable. Dude. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
I still have not been. It's on my bucket list, man. My dad used to take me. So my dad's side of the family's from Minnesota. That's how I ended up, loving Minnesota teams growing up.
Right.
And I had gone to the Metrodome plenty of times growing up, but U.S. Bank is on the bucket list. I have got to go. So even in the nosebleeds, it looks amazing.
There is no bad seat.
Exactly.
I go there. I went there for the X Games multiple times, but we always sat just above.
Humble brag.
We always, well, hey, I don't have a lot to brag about,
Flex, bro.
I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of camera gear to brag about, so I got to brag about something. So. But no, we sat just above field level. You go down on the field, and then you can sit anywhere you want to, really, so it doesn't matter. But if you look up and you go up to the top level, it's no different. I mean, it's just like any other stadium. It doesn't matter.
Better view. You can see more.
Yeah. I mean, any stadium, especially any new stadium, anywhere you sit is fantastic. So it doesn't matter where you go, unless you're behind a foul pole at, near the Green Monster in Boston. That's about the only place you can get a shitty seat, I think, nowadays. Yeah, I thought you had been there before.
What's a bucket list stadium for you?
Oh, shit. I don't know.
Where would you want to go see a game? Baseball, football, it doesn't matter. Where would you want to go see a game that you haven't seen?
God, there's so many of them. Pro, let's go pro, and then let's go college. So if it was, I don't know. Pro football, I would probably want to go to, God, as much as I don't want to say this, I might throw up when I say it, but.
Oh, no.
I know. God, I don't know. I was going to say Dallas just because.
Say Las Vegas.
Well, I was going to say Dallas just because of it's so enormous. I just want to see how gaudy it really is.
Yeah.
Pro stadiums are like, you see one, you've seen them all. It's just, unless it's indoor or outdoor, it's really, there's not a lot of change to it. So, I don't know. I'm going to go with Seattle.
It depends, man. We went to, so my mother-in-law, here's a fun fact. my mother-in-law was a Rams cheerleader back in the day.
Really?
Back in like mid-late 80s, I think. And when, this is last season, we got to go to a Rams game at the Coliseum because the new stadium had not been built yet. Yeah. And it was phenomenal. Like, the Coliseum is legit. That is cool. A killer venue. Yeah. That's where I went to my first concert when I was 15. I saw Metallica there in like 2000. Unreal. But we saw a Rams game there, and it was so cool. And then she was out there, of course. They had like all the alumni cheerleaders out there, and it was fantastic. But that venue was cool and unique. You mentioned Seattle. I'd love to go there too, only because it's loud, and I would love to experience what that's like. I'm not particularly a Seahawks fan, but there are some cool stadiums out there that are a bit different.
I would say, after I thought about it for a second, I'm a Green Bay Packer fan second, because that's where my dad's side of the family's from. I know you don't like to hear that, but sorry, Brett Favre.
This was going very well.
Go Pack. Hey, you had Brett Favre for
I have an appropriate amount of love for Brett Favre, even though we went to the NFC Championship and then just tanked it. I have an appropriate amount of love for the legend. I bought some Levi's because of that guy.
Hung out with him in Savannah. I did.
No way.
I did. He came to Savannah. He actually went to one of my best friends.
To your house for dinner.
No, he went to my best friend's house for a party.
Stop.
I swear to God.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, as sure as I'm sitting, he signed his pool table. Sure did. Yep. We were downtown one night, and a lot of times I worked at a bar for a long time, and the biggest thing they would do is during the night, they would go, "Hey, everybody, check it out, man. Michael Jackson's here, or Bobby Brown's here, or whoever, he's just left." And everybody would go crazy. And we're at this bar, and we're downtown, and a buddy of mine goes, "Hey, Brett Favre's up in the DJ booth." I was like, "Man, shut up, whatever. I hear that all the time. I work in a bar. I know that whole joke." And he said, "No, I'm serious. Brett Favre's in the DJ booth." So go up there, and he's in the DJ booth. And he goes, he's coming to the house. We're leaving to go to the house. We talked to him. He's coming to the house. Went over there for a party. Signed his pool table. Yeah, hung out with him for a little bit, and he hung out for a little bit and got out. But he was, he's just a regular dude. He just wants to drink. And back then he was drinking a lot, and I think he was hopped up on pills and everything else because of all his injuries and stuff. But pretty cool dude. So that was probably my closest encounter.
Sign my pool table. So that's a random one.
Yeah, well, I guess
it like a Packers pool table?
No, it was just it was a pool table with the red felt, and I guess because he was going to keep the pool table. I guess I don't know. Yeah. And to me, it seems like you would want to sign something. I didn't get a signature. I'm not big into all that stuff. I don't get like starstruck and things. So hanging out, it was just one of those things. But it was pretty cool to just see how normal, he was. So, but yeah, it was random. He was just in Savannah, hanging out. But there's a lot of people that come through Savannah, though. A lot of people, a lot of famous people come through here. But, yeah, I mean, I was always a Favre fan just because he started out in Atlanta, and I think we got screwed because they got rid of him because of our offensive system, and then he goes to Green Bay and kicks ass. But like I said, I was a Green Bay fan because my dad's side of the family's from Wisconsin.
And sucks ass.
That's what happens with us. We usually get rid of somebody and they go somewhere and they excel. I mean, they get better. So, but
we need to send Kirk Cousins over there for like 2 seasons.
You know what? I mean, anybody that you would like to see do bad, send them to Atlanta, to the Falcons.
Fair.
More than likely. And hey, the big thing there is that, talking about, Julio said he wants to stay, but, that was the big rumor, was that Matty Ice and him were on the block to be traded. And I'm like, man, y'all trade them. I don't watch you this year. I'm kind of done with pro football now, but you get rid of those two and I'm done for good. It's not worth it. I mean, but they've wasted Julio's better years anyway. I mean, he's still an amazing receiver, but he can't stay healthy. And, but I tell you, they've kind of got re-energized, which I think normally happens when you lose a head coach. They got re-energized and, they're winning, which I don't know. I was hoping they'd lose the rest of the games and be in that lottery for Trevor Lawrence, but I think we're going to lose out on that. So, I don't know. Probably. But anyway, so I think I would like to go to Green Bay to see that stadium. That's the one I think cool. I'd go in the pros. So that would be pretty cool. I've been to quite a few. College, I don't know. College is just fun. I'd probably want to go somewhere like, I don't know, somewhere in the SEC, probably LSU. Go see a game. I don't know if you keep up with college or not, but
I'm pretty garbage at keeping up with college, except my old boss, of course, his son plays for Notre Dame.
Yeah, I see that posted
they
everywhere.
Were ecstatic. Yeah. They were ecstatic when they beat Clemson. Yeah. But and the Notre Dame campus looks badass. It looks cool. Like they obviously have embraced, not like, all these, Division I teams have not embraced football, but they seem to have a particularly cool campus. When I was super, super young, we visited, we drove because I had a great uncle, like grandfather's brother. Mm-hmm. Is it great uncle?
I should have found out.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So we visited Duke, and Duke was pretty cool back in the day. So I don't know. I have not kept up with college. I'm garbage at it.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I mean, it's you have to down here where I'm at, because football is like year round. I mean, even when football season's not here, people are talking about football. I've gotten away from it. I think I was investing too much time in it. So last year I did it a little bit. This year I've done it like way more, where I've stepped away from it, and I haven't said, okay, we got to get all this done because I got to be here at 1:00 or here at 3:30 to watch Georgia play, So now I'm more, let's just go do what we got to do. If it runs over, it runs over. I don't care. I can watch it on my phone. I don't have to watch it, in the living room anymore. I have it on my phone. So if I want to follow it, I can. So I'm trying to get away from that and get more into who gives a shit about it. We'll see what happens. And if I can get to it, I will.
Yeah.
Plus
you ever do fantasy?
I used to. I haven't. I probably haven't in about 8 years, but I did. I did when I was in Charlotte, and it was actually the first time I did it. I did it for like 3 or 4 years, and the first time I did it, I won it, which was pretty cool, because I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I mean, I know football, I know sports, but I said I've never played it. And we did this whole draft. They put all these names up on the wall, and we met, and we were drinking, and we were drafting people, and I was just drafting like, okay, I know what these people can do, but I didn't know the whole gist of, why you draft people and how you play them and all this kind of stuff. So I was just like, but I did get lucky. So I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'll take Drew Brees Yeah, give me them. I can't remember. I had like Phillip Rivers as a backup, and then my defense was, I want to say, I can't remember who it was. It was like Pittsburgh or something at the time that I got. I had a really good lineup, I had like Drew Brees, and then that year I had one of the top receivers that he had, and he was one of the top receivers in the NFL. So, and that year he was throwing for like 500 plus yards every game and like 6 touchdowns. And ridiculous. So I was killing it, and I ended up winning the whole thing, and which was cool, nice. Which brought me back the next year. Cause like, hell yeah, I like that, so, but no, I don't play anymore. God, I don't have enough time to play,
It doesn't take a lot of time, man. It takes 10 minutes on Tuesday to reset and pick up people, and another 10 minutes Sunday morning.
I know, but it's still thought for me. It's like, because I don't know, I got so much other stuff going on. It's like, I'll forget,
It's mental bandwidth.
And then I'll get pissed, and I'm like, I forgot to take my quarterback out, and he's on a bye.
Dude, that was me last week. So I've been playing with the same group of friends for like 10 years, and it's for funsies, and most of the time I suck. I've won once in the last 10 years.
So y'all put money in on it or no? Money, yes.
We put 100 in on it, and if you're top 3, like I think third, I'll probably misquote this too, but I think third you get your money back. Second place, you get a couple $100, and then first place, you get a decent little payout and a little trophy gets bought for you. But it's fun. And honestly, for me, like, I'm not a really great sports fan. So for me, it was a reason to watch other football games. So it was like, exactly. Oh man, I got a running back in this game. Like, it made me care about other teams and learn a bit more about it, which is cool, and like have something to talk about. But last week I did the thing where I slept in, and that's saying something, because on the West Coast, it's like, I just have to be up by 10 a.m. And I couldn't even do that. So I slept in, and nice. I had Chris Carson, who was out, and then somebody else who just got 0 points, and I won by 1.5 points. Wow. One of those like just little squeakers where that person's sending you some like awful DMs of like, you asshole, I cannot believe you pulled this out. So I'm pretty run of the mill though. Like I'm middle of the road. I have fun. It's a reason to kind of enjoy it a bit more. So where you say Green Bay, I'd like to go check out the stadium in Vegas. It looks cool. Yeah. We stopped over 2 years ago. We took a road trip to Colorado, and we came back and we stayed at Mandalay Bay in the Delano Tower, and it was like our room was overlooking the construction that was going on right across the freeway. So it looks cool. And I'm not a Raiders fan. A guy on my team loves them. Yeah. I got Darren Waller as my tight end, and he's doing great. But the stadium looks cool as hell. It looks sinister. It's all black and just badass looking.
Maybe we'll get to see it next year. Yeah,
let's do it.
It'd be great to go at least drive by it.
This year's a bust, bro.
Huh?
Yeah.
You never know.
This year's a bust. Let's just write it off. Oh, no. Just stick a fork in it, bro. I mean, not to belabor this year any more than it needs to be.
Well, it's almost over.
I'm looking forward to. Like I'm hoping things move in a better direction next year. I'm hoping, whatever those variables that need to be falling into place, whether it's like lower infection rates or people recovering or whatever, like the desire for normalcy is at an all-time high. So
it is, and not to go down that rabbit hole, but you're right. I mean, it's 2020 is almost over. We're halfway through November. And, we're staring down the barrel of a new president coming in, and what's he going to do? I mean, nobody knows. And there's been a lot of rumors of what he plans on doing, which would suck. But, that's yet to be seen. But I think everybody is hoping for a 2021 that's going to allow us to go and do and use our best judgment. I'm afraid that masks are going to become, we're going to become like, Japan and China and all those places that it's just a daily thing. That's what you do. You get up and you grab your mask and you walk out the door, and you wear it everywhere you go. Probably, but at the same.
There's 2 reasons there. Let's pause there just for a second, because I have a question for you. Okay. This may be topical or pertinent.
Okay.
So it is for sure widespread in Asia. Like when you are under the weather, when you yourself are feeling a little ill, they will respectfully like put a mask on to, safeguard or protect those around them, whatever.
Right.
And then the other reason, like in northern China, where the air quality is so bad, like you have to wear it for your own health. So it begs a question: do you think we culturally could adopt a system where if you're feeling under the weather, would you be opposed to wearing a mask? Like, let's say maybe you're not sick enough to stay home or like take a sick day, and like you still need to get out and interact with people. Do you think it will be more accepted then to adopt that kind of mode of thinking of like, I'm feeling a little blah, maybe I'll just throw a mask on, like, or do you think people are just, are they arguing for argument's sake over just, you can't tell me what to do? Like, I'm not taking a particular stance, but I think it's an interesting, it's a culturally interesting thing to think about when in some arenas, one could easily argue like those cultures are far beyond us depending on the topic. Like I think in that particular arena of like safeguards they take when they're not feeling well. Yeah, that's a super respectful thing to do, to throw on a mask and not want to, potentially get those around you sick. Do you think that's something that will be more accepted in the US moving forward, that may not be commonplace where you have to go out and wear it all day, every day, but do you think it will become more acceptable that if you are maybe feeling a little, maybe you got a cold or maybe you got the sniffles or something, would it be more expected of us to adopt those same type of safeguards and say, hey man, put on a mask, you sound sniffly?
Yeah, I think now it's going to be more acceptable. And I think now people are going to feel more at ease wearing a mask. Now we're going to go with the side that will wear them first. So I think prior to this, you would never see anybody wear a mask. And if you did, it was, and I don't want this to sound wrong, and please, this is not racial by any, but it was usually an Asian person that you would see wear a mask. It's just the way it is. It's because of what they were used to. Very seldom would you see anybody wear a mask. Now, after COVID, I think, to your point, yes, I think that people will be more apt to wearing a mask at any given time. If they're sick, instead of staying home, if they want to go out, they'll have a mask with them. They'll wear it to protect other people. I think people will sanitize more often. And then the one thing I don't want to see a mandate on the mask. I want people to be able to form their own opinion, but I just hope that people will do it wisely. So, but yeah, and to that point too,
Therein lies the tragedy.
Well, but okay, so we talked about the people.
Common sense. I mean,
we talked about the people that want to wear it. So to go to your other point, yes, there are a ton of people that push back and don't want to be told to wear a mask, and they don't now because it's like, you're not going to tell me what to do. So they want to be stubborn. Look, I don't want to wear a mask, but I do. If I got to go to the store, I have my mask with me. I just got back from a trip. I wore it almost the entire time that I was gone. So from the second you walk into the airport, you can't take it off until you get out of the next airport you're going from. When you're on the airplane, they even tell you, you must wear your mask over your nose and mouth at all times. If you fall asleep and you don't have your mask on, or if it falls below your nose, we will gently nudge you and let you know to put it back on. So they're serious about it. I think if you look now, the flu numbers when we're coming into flu season are almost non-existent. Now, it's got to be for some reason, people are wearing a mask everywhere. So, I don't know if I believe the COVID numbers that are spiking. I think it's BS, but, cause as far as the sicknesses goes and things, because there are people that have COVID and they show nothing, Joe Riggs, he spent 13 days. I did a podcast on it. Spent 13 days in the hospital. His whole family checked positive for COVID, but he's the only one that got sick. So just because you get it, it is not a death sentence. Just because you get it doesn't mean you're going to get sick. But I think that is a perfect example of 3 people that are carriers, right? That if you wear your mask out, there's a possibility that you will keep it from spreading to somebody else. So yeah, I think that we should adopt it just socially as, just using common sense. If you're sick and you know you're sick, or you've been around people that were sick, but you don't show signs of being sick, it doesn't mean that you're not carrying the flu or a cold. So should you wear it 100% of the time? No. But if you know you've been subject to that type of, those type of people, then yeah, I think you should wear it whenever you go out. I just don't want to see it mandated. I don't want to see it to where they say you have to wear it or else. I think that's where you're going to see a huge problem. And you've already got governors now that don't
like to be told what to do, man.
Well, they don't. And not something like this but that's because we're not used to it. We're just not used to it. It's new to us. So, but it's, I think it's helped the spread of it somewhat, but I don't know. And look, California is totally different than the rest of the country, when it comes to this stuff.
California's crazy.
That's why so many people's leaving, so, or trying to
Texas right now, I think, is the #1 importer of California.
It is. I mean,
followed by like Colorado and Arizona.
They even say, don't turn our Texas, to California. Don't turn us blue. Yeah. But hey, Georgia's turning blue. It's not fun for me, but it is what it is.
Everything's wild, man. It's a wild time.
Yeah.
Sure.
And,
I don't know. You just generally hope into the universe. I think that's where it's at.
I was talking to somebody earlier, and I just want, it'd be nice for people just to get along and stop. The problem is the hatred that is out there right now for stupid stuff. If, especially, social media for sure, the commenting on things that you don't like, the needless comments about stuff. Like if you see something and you don't like it, you're not a fan of it, why stop? Why stop in and comment on it just because you can? Just because you have an opinion doesn't mean you should share it. You have the right to, but doesn't always mean that you need to go out there and express yourself, because some people can't express their selves the right way. And you do it on social media, and you stop right here and you talk to Bob and you comment on that, and it's like you have nothing else to say except bang on Bob for being an asshole when he's just trying to express himself. It's like, why do you even say that? There's the thing that pisses me off the most is when you see something that is so non-controversial, not racist, non-political, non-religious, and then you always have that one person that turns it political and racist. That's what blows everything up. And that's what we need to get away from is thinking that everybody is out to get everybody. This guy's a racist. This guy's white supremacist. This guy, whatever you want to call it. We got to get away from that, because if you can't get away from it and you can't dial that back, and everybody can't think, on a line and take somebody's opinion. If somebody wants to express themselves, listen to it. And then if you want to comment on it, you can, but then at the same time, the other person needs to listen to what the other person has to say. And if we can do that, I think people can get along a little bit better, but it's a lot to ask,
Well, the problem is that's intelligent, respectful discourse, Jason. And we're not known for that per se.
Well,
we have such extreme diversity, and we have trouble dealing with that, man. The problem is it takes one really, really loud voice, whoever that is, anonymously on the internet, talking shit or trying to stir up whatever. Trolls, man. I mean, that whole thing is a culture among itself. So the ability to discern and just have some common sense and just be kind.
We have too many people far left.
Is my favorite comedian. Do you listen to much stand-up comedy?
Not as much as I used to. No.
So when I was commuting, I would listen to a lot more than I do now. But Patton Oswalt has been my favorite comedian forever and a day. And his wife that had passed away wrote a really, and I'm probably butchering this too. This might be a theme for us. Paul Butcher stuff. It's a whole offshoot of your podcast. Yeah. She wrote a really, really nice note, and he had a bit about it in one of his specials, and it was like, it's chaos, be kind. And I think it's the best advice anyone could ever give. Now, or 20 years ago, or 50 years from now, it's chaos. Be kind.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's madness, bro.
Let's
just have some fun. You know what will probably solve all of this? Beautiful 6K footage coming straight from the RED Komodo. It will cure all. It will bring the people together.
That's what I'm going to shoot. That's going to be I want to shoot
like
something.
Yes. Like we brought it.
Hey, it was no. Hey, there's nothing wrong. That's what it's here for. Is just to talk about stuff, man. It doesn't have to be straight tech.
Fun, just kind of rambling. Together,
I mean, last time we talked about tech and eating habits. So, yeah,
that's right.
I mean, now,
and I heard that was a very popular episode.
Right now, it is. Right now, it's tied for first out of all of them.
Nice.
So
nice. That's what the people want, man. What kind of sandwich did you eat today? That's what they want.
They do, yeah. Matter of fact, what did I eat today? I don't even know what I ate today. I don't know.
I had a bison burger for lunch.
Really?
Potato.
Where'd you get the bison from?
Lazy Dog.
Where'd you get the bison from?
Well, we stopped off at Lazy Dog restaurants. I don't know if they're nationwide. Have you heard of Lazy Dog?
Have not heard of it.
It's a chain. They're pretty awesome. They may be just West Coast. They always have this amazing patio with a big fire pit, and you can take your dog there, and you can order like delicious food for your pets, and you can hang out on the patio with them. So my wife worked there way back when in college, and it's still one of her favorite restaurants. And now they have like a beer club. So I went to go pick up the beer club. She ordered food and I brought it home, and I had a bison burger. It was so good.
You know, I had one. It's been a long time, but I mean, it was good, but it wasn't like, I don't know. It probably wasn't as good as it could be. I want to get something that's like legit. Again, this is a conversation I had earlier with somebody. We were talking about eating healthy, and you know that you don't have to eat vegan. You don't have to be vegetarian to eat healthy. You just have to watch what you eat and how much you eat of it. And that was one of the things we got into, was eating red meat, because I've cut it mostly out and almost all the way out. But I'm still a fan of eating it if it's organically taken. You know, so like if you know, I was to get back into hunting and I shot a deer, I'm perfectly fine with eating that because it's healthy, it's lean, it's good. Or if I knew somebody or somewhere that you could get like raised, like bison or beef, that's
avoid factory farming.
That's it.
Avoid the nightmare that is, you know, mass raising of protein, essentially, whether that's, you know, chickens or
it's everything,
cattle, or
any kind of animal. That is,
it's a fucking nightmare, bro.
It is. And speaking of that, that's one of the documentaries that I'm going to be working on. So a lot of stuff to be shot for that and talked about. So
on the RED Komodo.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Unless
it has to be hidden camera, then I'll take my EOS R.
There you go.
You know,
stuff it in like your jacket and just have a big Canon lens sticking out the front, that 100mm macro just come out of your chest.
That's right.
Like, don't mind me. It's all good.
It's nothing to see here. But yeah, I mean, that's something that, I don't know. It's interesting. And I think it's something that people want to know, want to see, want to talk about. And a lot of people don't know about it. And I think it's interesting.
A lot of people don't want to see that.
Well, they don't.
But I think how to deal with the truth.
I think that's the key.
You want to go to the grocery store. You want a guiltless purchase.
Yep.
You want to go, hey, this is a great looking T-bone. I don't want to see the living conditions of what this animal had to endure.
Right.
I don't want to see that, like, it was shot up with hormones and steroids and all this shit. I just want to, like, skip my way through the grocery store, throw some shit in my cart, go home, put it on the grill, and go, kids, dinner's ready.
And that's the problem, though.
Don't want to see behind that, and that's it's planned, or I should say, willing ignorance.
Yeah, and it's inhumane. I'm not against killing an animal to feed your family. You know, I used to hunt, so I'm not going to be hypocritical and go, oh, we shouldn't kill any animals, because for one, if people didn't hunt deer, and I'm just talking about where I'm at, if you didn't hunt deer here, it would overrun the state. We've been highly populated with it. And if you don't curve that, it's bad for them. People don't want to see that. They don't want to talk about that. They don't understand that. They don't want to understand it. They think that animals just roam free. They're just there. They don't populate anymore. It's just, we have 100 deer here. That's all that's here. But those 100 deer, out of those 100 deer, you don't know, you could have, just a few bucks, and then you have all female, and they have babies, and then they continue to grow. And what happens, just like humans, if you take 100 humans and you stick them in one small place, they're going to fight to eat, and they're going to end up either killing each other or they're going to die off from malnutrition. It's the same with animals. So you have to curb that population by killing them the right way, and you take them, and they do, you have, obviously people that they regulate that, but, not to get off on that trail, but if you kill them that way, it's fine with me. I'm good with that type of, taking of animals. And like you said, as long as it's not, factory farming where you have 100 head of cattle and one little fence, and they're stepping on each other. They can't move. They can't breathe. You're pumping them full of steroids, and they're continuing to grow. They have no room to grow, but they're continuing to grow anyway. They have, all the snot running out of their face and shit running all over the place. I mean, you've seen it. And then, like you said, then they take them and then they pump them full of all this shit that makes them grow faster than they need to. So now they pass all that stuff on that they've eaten, those diseases they could possibly have gotten at some point that you don't know they have, and they pass it on to you through the grocery store. Yeah, and they put that stamp on there. Boom, yeah. It says this is organic beef, and it's not, but, and that's another thing. Organic stuff is not necessarily healthy for you. They have guidelines they have to hit to be organic, but that's not always a healthy organic, So non-GMO is a little different because, they have to be non-GMO. And I don't know, there's a lot of stories to tell behind that stuff. And I think a lot of things to shoot, a lot of things to see that I think people need to see it's important. And I think it curves people from eating the wrong way. Again, nothing wrong with eating meat, but as long as you step back from eating it like all the time and you curb what you eat and the type that you eat, I think you can live a pretty healthy life. So I don't know. It's interesting. That's a whole different conversation, but that's, I don't know. I've gotten more passionate about it since, obviously meeting my wife and, her being vegan and the way she eats and the way she thinks and stuff like that. So, and I've seen some documentaries that definitely open up your eyes as far as health-wise and what it can do to you, when you have certain diseases and things like that.
Speaking of gorgeous wives, mine's getting ready to get dinner going right now.
Is she really?
She's being very sneaky.
What are y'all cooking?
What are we having tonight? Yeah, Jason's curious now. What are we having? I forget.
We're gonna have turkey meatloaf, but I didn't realize it was in the freezer.
What was that?
Turkey meatloaf.
Turkey.
It should be in the other freezer.
No, we can't make it. We just can't keep it out. I thought it was.
I screwed that up. All right, we're pivoting. We were gonna have her famous turkey meatloaf,
and now,
which we do now.
Turkey meatloaf sounds good.
Dude, she crushes turkey meatloaf. I messed up. I froze the ground turkey meat, and that's going to take too long to thaw. So is this like, do you pamper the wife? Do we order in sushi? Do we do something crazy? It's Friday.
Why not?
Friday the 13th.
We just made homemade pizza. So
homemade pizza, dude.
Yeah,
what's your go-to?
Finished eating before we got here.
Do you want to order something?
Order something.
Old Spaghetti Factory. Ooh.
Order spaghetti? Really?
Jason says, well, they have other stuff. Old Spaghetti Factory is fantastic.
I've never heard of it. I don't know.
Ordering's back. Let's do it. Yeah. They have a lot more than that. They've got an amazing, what's the go-to? It's like a shrimp, spinach, ravioli or something.
Spinach and cheese.
Tortellini.
Love
it's going
tortellini.
Down.
Love tortellini.
Tortellini's fantastic.
I love Italian food when it's done right, when it's not too much garlic in it.
Dude, what's the first thing? Like, are you, when I try a new Italian place, I go basic. I go and I'll typically order a fettuccine Alfredo because if they make a bomb homemade Alfredo sauce, they are legit in my book.
I usually go like ravioli.
Ravioli's good.
Yeah, but I like it. I don't like it with all the sauce and everything on it, it's got to be, minimalist. It can't be like you're going, okay, where the hell's the ravioli at? I got all the sauce, but I need to see the ravioli. I like it to be, it's got to be evenly placed out. But ravioli to me, if you can do ravioli right, that's to me is when you know it's legit. But my wife made homemade pasta too. She's got all that stuff. She makes it and
that's legit.
Has it. She makes it from scratch, and then she'll put it through the little thing that cuts it. Well, it flattens it out and all that, and then it cuts it and all that kind of stuff. So, and
the pasta ringer thing where you're like doing the crank and you put the pasta stuff through it.
No, well, it's not a crank. This is this goes on the end of the kitchen aid thing.
Oh, nice. Even okay. I expected you would be high class about it.
Well, my wife had been begging me for a long time for that thing. So,
you know what you should do now? You need to get like I can't remember if Tilta makes it. It's like the Titan arm. You need to mount the Komodo on the KitchenAid mixer and get some of those macro shots of pasta being made. I'm telling you,
I'm going to shoot. She wants to
still a bunch of stock footage.
So she wants to, first of all, she wants me to redo the kitchen for her, which I promised I would. She's already designed it, but she wants to start shooting more of her cooking and, do more of that stuff. So I told her we could do that, start getting a lot of the, video out there for her. And then she wants to do that, take more photos. We were taking a lot more photos of her stuff, but she wants to get a lot more of that on social media and stuff like that. So she does good.
I want to say you've posted some great stuff, I've seen some awesome food pics on your socials.
Yeah, I've done, I know she's taken a couple. I've done some, but it helps whenever she makes it the way she makes it too. So it always helps. But I think some of my favorite photos of her stuff has all been like, I think one of my favorites probably of the empanadas she made. But I think some of the other ones have been like of her making pizza and the pasta.
How are you not so fat with a wife that can cook so well? That was my problem. When we first started dating, I gained like 20 pounds because I was like, oh my God, this woman can cook.
Well, I try and work out, but at the same time, I think I'm still lucky with my metabolism.
14 days to work out hardcore right now.
Well, hey, I lost 16 pounds through our lockdown. So most people are going this way and I was going that way. So I made it a point. I wasn't going to do that. Well, we eat healthy though. We eat a lot of stuff we want to eat, but at the same time, we do eat pretty healthy. So, she knocks out a lot of that stuff because she's vegan. So, we may not be eating the bad flour, a lot of bread, stuff like that. And when I cheat, it's always like on the weekend or something, or, I'll go buy, some dessert or something. But even like ice cream and stuff, we'll eat like vegan ice cream because it tastes exactly like ice cream. So you can get away with it. I don't know how I'm not 150 pounds heavier than I am now, and she cooks good. It's excellent. All her food is fantastic, and she makes eating vegan easy. So I don't know. It's pretty easy, but yeah, I do want to get some footage with the Komodo. But should I shoot 4K or 6K and then downsample? Or should I just,
Dude, shoot the biggest that you can.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing too. So I was doing a little bit more research into the different like quality modes on the Komodo. You've got like the HQ, the MQ and LQ modes. Yeah. And there's some really great examples of that footage on the RED website. And then of course, tons of consumer comparisons. Dude, the compression is unreal. Like, go nuts. Shoot 6K with that thing. If you wanna punch in on that, dude, you gotta do it. I want to see the most amazing vegan meal in 6K and then punched in stunning high definition.
I know. I'll have the first vegan meal ever shot in 6K. And then 10 years from now it'll still look good because it's shot in 6K.
Oh, you're damn right.
We still
won't have on our 20K televisions.
I know. I don't know.
Done deal.
I need to put together a team, man, to shoot shoot a documentary. You got to put together a team for me. You got anybody that'd be interested?
Dude, it sounds fun.
I mean,
yeah.
At least help put it together, and I need like, you know, a good producer and stuff like that. So I gotta have somebody, man.
Done.
I gotta have people to help out. Also working on another one. This is pretty cool. You know, we have a breakdance team, you know. So after filming them in Texas, I've been in communication with a couple of them. So the plan is to do a documentary on breakdancing and
Sick.
Where it came from, how it started, you know, back in the 70s and stuff. And it wasn't even a dance style, really, you know, and then how it came out and how it became so big, and then how it went underground. And then it was still going, but everybody lost it. It was done. And then next thing you know, it was still kind of doing its thing. And then here it comes again, and it's worldwide, man, you know? And, so I'm going to try to, I've been putting together I got a lot of things written down and, you know, noted. And, I think that could be a pretty cool documentary where a lot of people, I think, you know, it can resonate with, and, young and old, you know, because if you're at a certain age, you remember when it was here, and now that you're younger, also, it's, you know, people know what it is. So I don't think there's going to be a gap in people knowing what the hell breakdancing is. And I think it'd be pretty interesting to see, you know, to tell that story and bring some of the old school guys and stuff like that in and do all that. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'd like to work on that. But like I said, I need help. It's not a one-man job. So, you know,
when is any film ever a one-man job?
The problem is
that's the beauty
I know
of collaboration.
The problem is putting the team together and then getting everybody on the same page. So, which is easier now because you do have Zoom and Team and everything else, but you know, it's getting the people that want to be involved in it. So, if you know anybody, send them my way.
Shoot you some names.
I got two big ones I want to work on. So, you know,
hell yeah, dude. Love it.
That's the plans.
You got the right hardware to do it now.
Well, that's the plans. You know, that's my, that's probably my two top goals, you know, to get done. And, you know, it takes a while, but, I've kind of got everything laid out. I've got a lot of the ideas, you know, bullet pointed and stuff like that. And now it's just, if, you know, to get somebody else, you know, a few people that'd be interested in it and that could, you know, maybe, you know, brainstorm on some other stuff, you know, that I'm probably missing, things like that. And then, just getting it done. So, cause I'm going to be, you know, a lot of I'm going to have to fly out to like, Arizona and stuff like that and meet up with some of the guys and there's going to be some travel and stuff, but you know, whatever it takes to get it done. So that's the idea, you know, if you know anybody that'd be interested in it, it'd be, you know, pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
So, let me know.
You got it.
So anyway, well, that's probably a good stopping point. How long have we been going? How long have we been going? I don't know.
Hour and a half.
That's not that bad. That's shorter.
Hour and a half again.
That's
nah, yeah.
I don't know how long did we go last time. 2 hours, I think. Something close to that.
That's par for our course. I think we did go 2 hours last time.
Yeah. No, and this kind of touched on everything, so it wasn't just the Red Komodo, but
it's always fun. It is an absolute pleasure to spend time with you, my man.
I know. We'll get together soon. Hopefully your wife doesn't get mad because you froze the turkey. You know.
I think, so she's one of those rare ones that like places that where I don't know if you've ever worked in like a restaurant or pizza place or whatever, but I feel like after a certain amount of time, you would not like that food anymore.
Yeah.
I can see everywhere that she's worked throughout high school and college, she still loves the food. Yeah. So like Lazy Dog, the Old Spaghetti Factory, even like Little Caesars. Yeah. She still gets down on Little Caesars pizza. Like, yeah, it's crazy. So I redeemed myself by signing off on the Old Spaghetti Factory. So I'm in the clear right now, which is good.
I worked at the bar for a long time. You would think that you would get tired of alcohol, but that has not happened.
So never. Never.
It has come down a little bit, but
Yeah. But you appreciate it.
I appreciate it a lot more. I realize what could happen when you go too far. So
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, always a pleasure. It's good to talk. Lots of good things happening, hopefully coming up in 2021 that we can talk about. So,
oh yeah. And next time we talk, you got to be ready to share some of that Komodo footage.
I think I am. Like I said, I got some plans. Yeah, I want to shoot a couple of things that are worth looking at. So the other day I just took it out just to test it. So, but I feel comfortable with it anyway. I mean, I know what the hell I'm doing. So I just want to get out there and shoot some really good, some cool stuff. So
only gets better.
That's the plan, is to shoot and be able to actually put something together and see how it, comes together. So I'll definitely have something, and I don't know, we'll talk about it, see what it looks like. So
hell yeah, brother.
Hopefully we'll have a lot of stuff in 2021 to shoot. I hope.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
No shortage, man. I know. No shortage.
Well, y'all go enjoy your food, and we'll talk again soon.
Yes, sir. Love to the fam. Always a pleasure.
Yes, definitely. All right, man. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, man.
We'll see you.
See you.